5 reasons all Christians must tithe. Reason number 1, tithing was done even before Abraham and even before the law of Moses. Tithing is in the 4th book of Genesis and is the secret behind why Abel was accepted and Cain rejected. Read here how Cain got in trouble in Gen 4-4 when we read that then Abel brought the first lamb born to one of his sheep, killed it, and gave the best parts of it as an offering. The Lord was pleased with Abel and his offering. Note the word first lamb and read it in different translations. So tithing is not a Jewish custom as it was practiced before the law came into effect. It has its roots in the ancient divine order of worship, as we know the book of Genesis is the root of all revelation. Tithe was enacted way before Abraham tithed. Who tithed way before the law of Moses? Reason number 2. While on earth Jesus spoke of tithing. Jesus expected tithes to be paid in his time on earth and taught about it being placed in the right perspective. So all Jews then, including Jesus and disciples, were being addressed when he said, "How terrible for you, teachers of the law and Pharisees! You hypocrites! You give to God 1/10 even of the seasoning herbs, such as mint, dill, and cumin, but you neglect to obey the really important teachings of the law, such as justice and mercy, and honesty. These you should practice, without neglecting the others." Matthew 23:23 GNT. Reason number 3. Tithing is not about money. Tithing is like your government deduction of taxes on gross salary, meaning putting your civic national duties first. Likewise, biblical tithing is about putting God first in all your ways and performing divine duties first. Proper tithing teaching is not about money but seeking God first and His kingdom. It is as simple as putting God first in your affairs. And is the perfect obedience of the greatest commandments, which is to love God with all of yourself. Your salary money is your blood, sweat, and tears in material form, and the tithing of it is an expression of you personally seeking first the kingdom of God before other things. Reason number 4, all Father Abraham children must tithe. In the New Testament, we are taught that Abraham is the father of all who live by faith, therefore all Christians living today should tithe like their father in the faith Abraham did. This is as per the teaching of Paul that says we are blessed today with believing Abraham. We today must therefore walk in the same faith of our father who tithed in advance before it was legalized by the law of Moses. Read Paul's teaching on this Abrahamic fatherhood that states, he was circumcised later, and his circumcision was a sign to show that because of his faith God had accepted him as righteous before he had been circumcised. And so Abraham is the spiritual father of all who believes in God and are accepted as righteous by him, even though they are not circumcised. He is also the father of those who are circumcised, that is, of those who, in addition to being circumcised, also live the same life of faith that our father Abraham lived before he was circumcised. Romans 4:11-12 GNT. So, if Abraham, our father in the Lord, paid tithes to Jesus as the Melchizedek high priest he met in the Old Testament, it follows that the children of Father Abraham living today should also tithe by faith and not by law. They should tithe by love and not by force. They should tithe by knowledge and not by ignorance. Reason number 5, Jesus is personally receiving tithes today. Jesus is the ancient Melchizedek high priest who received Abraham's tithe in the book of Genesis. Apostle Paul taught us that this same Jesus today is still in the same office as the high priest of the eternal rank of Melchizedek. His office is still receiving the worship of tithe givers as you read and hear this. Read it here as Paul states, but this person, Melchizedek, who is not from their Levitical ancestry, received tithes from Abraham and blessed him who possessed the promises of God. Yet it is beyond all dispute that the lesser person is always blessed by the greater one. Furthermore, here, in the Levitical priesthood, tithes are received by men who are subject to death, but in that case, concerning Melchizedek, they are received by one of whom it is testified that he lives on, perpetually. Hebrews 7:6-8 AMP. To keep this short, I have not touched on how tithing affects the answering of prayers or how it's a circumcision of finances and life. For now, just know that the tithe is bigger and older than any church, denomination, or person who has ever been on planet Earth. Don't joke with it. Ask Cain.